Mother's Day, Father's Day, one day a year to say thank you. But parenting and caregiving, that's every day. Online therapy gives you a space to be heard, to process, to recharge. No commute, no guilt, just support that fits your life. You show up for them, now show up for you. Visit BetterHelp.com for 10% off your first month of online therapy. BetterHelp, therapy for the people who care for everyone else.
Hi, this is Penn and Kim Holderness from the Laugh Lines podcast.
If you're like me, buying anything turns into a nightmare research spiral. But listen, if you're trying to upgrade your phone, I'm about to save you from yourself. Because right now you can get the new iPhone 16e with Apple Intelligence when you switch at your nearest Boost Mobile store.
That is a brand spanking new iPhone 16e for the incredible price of $49.99. Plus, you're getting all the latest Apple Intelligence features like Cleanup, which removes distraction from photos with just a tap.
Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store for full offer details. Apple Intelligence requires iOS 18.1 or later. Restrictions apply.
Mother's Day, Father's Day, one day a year to say thank you. But parenting and caregiving, that's every day. Online therapy gives you a space to be heard, to process, to recharge. No commute, no guilt, just support that fits your life. You show up for them, now show up for you. Visit BetterHelp.com for 10% off your first month of online therapy. BetterHelp, therapy for the people who care for everyone else.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Toby.
And welcome to the Whispering Woods Extra. This extra is all about
PLUCKLEY Village.
It is. So we're back to Kent. Now, this is just one long story, and some of the ghosts I've left out because they were covered in the Screaming Woods. So I didn't want to just repeat them all, so I've gone for different ghosts in this episode. Are you ready for the story?
Yes, I am.
PLUCKLEY is a small village in Kent, England, and it's often called Britain's most haunted village. Over the past 70 plus years, tales have grown of a dozen or more resident ghosts haunting its lanes, woods, and historic buildings. The village first gained this haunted reputation around 1950, and even earned a mention in the 1989 Guinness Book of World Records for its ghostly population. One of PLUCKLEY's most famous spirits is the Red Lady, said to wander the churchyard of St. Nicholas's Church at night. According to local law, the Red Lady was a member of the prominent Daring family, Long Lords of the Manor in PLUCKLEY. She is often described as wearing a red or rose-coloured gown or shroud, and is seen grieving or searching among the gravestones. The legend states that this lady lost a baby, a stillborn child, and was buried in the family crypt with a red rose, which earned her ghost its Red Lady name. Witnesses over the years have reported a female figure in red drifting between the headstones, as if looking for something, possibly the grave of her infant child. Historically, the Daring family inhabited this area since at least the 15th century, and St. Nicholas's Church contains the Daring Chapel and Crypt. While the exact identity of the Red Lady isn't confirmed, her story ties into the family's history and the kind of tragedies that could occur in past centuries. PLUCKLEY's church is said to host not one, but two spectral women, In addition to the Red Lady, locals also speak of a White Lady who haunts St. Nicholas's Church and its vicinity. The White Lady is believed to be another female of the Daring lineage. In some tellings, either a relative of the Red Lady or another Lady Daring from a different generation. Described as a pale, ethereal figure, she has been spotted both in the churchyard and, intriguingly, inside what was once the Daring family manor house library. One legend claims that a Lady Daring's remains were encased in multiple lead coffins and an oak casket, perhaps in an effort by her bereaved husband to preserve her body, a detail that has become part of the White Lady's mystery. People who claim to have seen the White Lady often describe her as a mournful presence, silently gliding near the church's ancient tombs or appearing within the church itself. As with the Red Lady, the White Lady's story is rooted in the real history of Pluckley's gentry. Though the exact names have faded, the Daring family's legacy in the village lends credibility to legends of well-dressed ancestral ghosts lingering in their old parish church. Down a quiet tree-lined lane in Pluckley, the sorrowful phantom of a schoolteacher is said to appear. Known as the Hanging Schoolmaster, the lane, called Dicky Buss's Lane, after a miller who once lived nearby, was the setting for a grim discovery in the 1920s. A schoolmaster found hanging from a tree. According to village law, this educator became despondent after World War I and took his own life. A group of local children walking to school one morning supposedly came upon the tragic scene of their teacher's body suspended from an overhanging branch. The suicide was never fully explained, but ever since, people claim the departed teacher's restless spirit remains at the site. On clear moonlit nights when the breeze rustles the leaves, passers-by have reported glimpsing the figure of a man hanging in mid-air among the trees, or felt a sudden chill under the boughs where the act took place. The ghost is usually described as wearing old-fashioned clothing. One 20th century journalist who investigated even claimed he saw a man in a green blazer and striped trousers hanging there for a moment. This ghost story, too, aligns with a real tragedy. In August 1919, a man named Henry Edgar Martin died by suicide by hanging in this area. He was a papermaker by trade, not a teacher, but folklore merged his fate with the profession of another local man, a schoolmaster from nearby Smarden, to create the enduring legend of the hanging schoolmaster. To this day, Dicky Buss's Lane carries an uneasy reputation, an ordinary country path made infamous by a ghostly schoolmaster said to swing eternally from a tree that no longer stands. In a 250-year-old house called Rose Court, a tragic love story is said to replay itself in ghostly form. The Lady of Rose Court is described as the spirit of a woman who lived in Tudor times, reputedly the mistress of a member of the Daring family who built the house for her. Local legend states that she became entangled in a doomed love triangle. She fell deeply in love with a monk from the nearby Greystones rectory, despite either she or the monk already being bound by other vows. Heartbroken by the impossible situation, the Lady of Rose Court took her own life by ingesting a potion of poisonous berries, some say ivy berries, and she ended her life in despair. It's said that when her body was found, she was slumped in the garden with her eyes turned toward Greystones. as if longing for the monk she loved until her last moments. Since then, the ghost of this Tudor-era lady allegedly haunts Rose Court and its grounds. She is most often heard in the late afternoon, between 4 and 5 p.m. Witnesses have reported hearing a female voice calling out as if searching for someone, sometimes calling the names of her dogs. Occasionally, an apparition of a woman in period dress is glimpsed briefly in the garden or looking out a window. Inside the house, residents have noted odd disturbances. Objects mysteriously moved from their places, unexplained sighs or sobbing in empty rooms, and an uncanny melancholy that pervades the atmosphere. Historical research suggests this tale may have a kernel of truth. A local woman named Mary Ann Bennett died by suicide, poisoning herself in 1862. An event which has been linked to the Lady of Rose Court legend. In Pluckley's lore, the Lady of Rose Court remains an evocative figure, a reminder of star-crossed love turned tragic, lingering on in the home built for her long ago. Not far from Rose Court is Greystones, a house formerly known as Rectory Cottage, built in 1863. The most famous spectre here is a hooded phantom monk who drifts through the grounds and nearby trees. According to the legend, this monk lived in the area centuries ago. The story often places him in Tudor times, and became romantically involved with the Lady of Rose Court. When his secret lover died tragically, presumably the same poisoning incident, the monk fell into a deep despair. He would wander the meadows and lanes between the rectory and Rose Court, mourning the loss of the woman he could never publicly claim. Ultimately, it's said he died heartbroken, but his spirit could not rest. The sightings of the monk ghost describe a silent figure in a brown or black robe, sometimes seen gliding behind greystones or among the neighbouring orchards and graveyard path. He appears benign yet sorrowful, often only noticed from a distance before vanishing behind a hedge or wall. One documented sighting occurred as recently as 1989, when an American journalist staying in Pluckley reported seeing a cowled monk-like figure briefly emerge and disappear near Greystones. Unlike some of Pluckley's ghosts, the monk story was actually a later addition to the village's folklore. Research shows the monk of Greystones tale was popularised in the 1960s. Nonetheless, it has taken root in local imagination. The Greystones monk is often mentioned in tandem with the Lady of Rose Court, two ghosts bound by a tragic love. Whether fact or fiction, their intertwined stories add a spiritual drama to Pluckley's ghostly roster, painting the image of a bereft monk eternally placing in search of his lost love. On quiet nights in Pluckley, residents have reported an eerie click-clop of hooves and the rumble of wheels on cobblestones, yet nothing is visible on the road. This is the legend of the phantom horse-drawn carriage, one of Pluckley's more atmospheric hauntings. The apparition is typically heard more than seen. The sound of a horse and carriage at full gallop, rushing along the old lanes, such as Mortlands Hill or down the street in the village centre. And it's been noted by witnesses who find themselves suddenly engulfed in the noise. Occasionally people have claimed a brief sighting of a dark old-fashioned coach led by a pair of horses, which disappears around a bend or through a hedge without a trace. One well-known account from the 1990s described local drivers hearing horses' hooves and a carriage on a paved road, despite no physical vehicle being present. The origins of this phantom coach tale are unclear. Unlike many other Pluckley ghosts, it doesn't tie to a specific named person. Some speculate it could be connected to the Darings or another prominent family, as horse-drawn carriages were the primary transport in centuries past. Interestingly, research suggests this particular story might have been a later embellishment to Pluckley's ghost lore, first appearing in print in the 1960s. Nevertheless, it has become a staple of local folklore. The idea that a spectral carriage still rattles through the village after dark adds to Pluckley's Victorian-era charm. Pluckley once had a windmill on the outskirts of the village, known as the Pinnock or Black Mill, which ceased operation in the 1930s and later burned in 1939. This ruined mill has its own ghost story, the Phantom Miller, said to haunt the site. Locals have identified the ghost as Dickie Buss, the miller who owned the mill in its final years and shut it down, lending his name to the nearby lane. After the windmill hill was destroyed by a lightning-sparked fire, people began reporting a strange presence around the remaining foundations. The tale goes that before an oncoming storm, a black silhouette of a man can sometimes be seen standing by the old mill site, or even up where the cells would have been, as if tending to the mill one last time. The miller's ghost is described as a dark figure with indistinct features, often noticed only out of the corner of your eye. Intriguingly, many accounts claim that sightings of this ghost coincide with the approach of bad weather. It became a bit of village lore that if someone saw the ghost of the miller, a thunderstorm was soon to follow. While this could simply be a local superstition, it adds a folkloric twist, making the silent miller into a harbinger of storms. There are no detailed records of the miller's death, and Dickie Buss himself was a real person who lived into old age. So this ghost story may be more symbolic than literal. Perhaps the dramatic burning of the mill gave rise to tales of its former owner's spirit remaining on watch. Today, little of the windmill remains, but the legend of the faithful miller's ghost standing guard at Pinnock lives on. Beyond the major legends above, Pluckley hosts a number of other strange tales and reported hauntings. The surrounding thickets, known as the Daring Woods, are better known by a chilling nickname, the Screaming Woods, because people have long claimed to hear unearthly screams echoing through the trees at night. These cries are often attributed to the lost souls of travellers or armies. Though no specific ghosts are named, it remains a spooky local legend. Pluckley's Old Black Horse Inn, a 17th century pub, is another locale with uncanny activity. Visitors and staff there have witnessed poltergeist-like events, such as glasses sliding off shelves, or unseen hands moving items. Incidents that suggest even the pub has an unseen patron or two. Similarly, Elvie Farm, a historic farmhouse turned hotel, is said to be haunted by the ghost of a farmer who died by suicide with a shotgun. Guests have reported hearing a disembodied voice whisper, "I will do it," replaying that tragic incident. At a former blacksmith's forge, later a tea room, proprietors spoke of a ghost of a jovial 17th century cavalier and a Tudor-era maid who would appear and vanish, or even of ghostly footsteps and phantom customers making themselves known. From the old bakery with its mysterious footsteps by the hearth, to the long-gone Surrenden-Daring Manor, where a mischievous spirit was once rumoured to roam. Individually, these accounts range from benevolent to terrifying, but collectively, they have made Pluckley a magnet for ghost hunters and alike. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there is no denying that this Kentish hamlet has woven its history and tragedies into an unusual identity, a community where the past feels unusually present, and where every twilight stroll might bring a brush with the unexplained. I'd like to go to Pluckley for Halloween, but we'd just be annoying to all the locals. It's like if loads of people came to our village just on Halloween to see the ghosts. Mind you, I quite enjoy it, I think. Just see a load of ghost hunters around trying to find the ghost.
Just fool them.
Yeah.
Just trick them.
In the bushes.
Yeah, so they think that there's a ghost, but they're not the ghost, it's just me, boy.
Oh, yeah, but they'd go home really happy about that.
Yeah, that's what I think. And a photo, a video on Instagram later, someone hiding in the bushes, scaring someone.
Your little face peeking out. I love it. But there's a concentration. Do you know what it reminds me of a bit? It's like Stranger Things, where there's a concentration of paranormal activity going on in one certain place. What is it called again in Stranger Things, the town?
Hawkins.
Hawkins, that's it. You well done. Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's understandable because I'm like perimenopausal, so my brain doesn't really remember a lot. But Hawkins, yeah, can't wait because that's coming up soon in November for the final episodes. Well, yeah, but that's Christmas sorted. I'm really excited because I don't like Christmas, as everybody knows. At least we have Stranger Things.
Nah, Christmas is right.
Yeah.
In winter Christmas.
Yeah. It's not so much that I don't like Christmas. I don't like Christmas Day.
What, because it's hectic?
No, I don't know what it is. It's just that I'm kind of glad when it's done. I mean, it is hectic because I do all the cooking and everything. But I just feel like slightly removed from life, and so it makes me feel a bit unsettled. I'm not sure what it is. But I'm glad when it's over.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
We will indeed. We'll catch you again on Sunday. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
With Quilted Northern, to be specific.
So cushy and so plushy. Just give it a try. Feeling is believing.
Quilted with 3 cushy layers for your comfort.
The quilted comfort of Quilted Northern.
We know what's comfy, and now you do too. Keep it quilted with Quilted Northern. Mother's Day. Father's Day. One day a year to say thank you. But parenting and caregiving, that's every day. Online therapy gives you a space to be heard, to process, to recharge. No commute, no guilt, just support that fits your life. You show up for them, now show up for you. Visit BetterHelp.com for 10% off your first month of online therapy. BetterHelp. Therapy for the people who care for everyone else.